things also just happened that we did. Lollapalooza was one.
Yes, I
And
wanted to talk about
KCON.
Lollapalooza and KCON most importantly. You came into my world of the Billboards and
I
you
did.
did a little hosting job for us
I
at
did.
KCON.
I hope
queening
people
for
liked
3
it.
days.
Yeah, for 3 days.
So tell
It
me
was a
all
lot.
about it.
Oh, God. I mean, I don't even know if there is much to even say other than you're correct in that it happens very quickly. That carpet is boom, 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 boom.
Oh, so fast.
Which was fun. I think we got a lot of good stuff from it. I think, it's nice connecting with artists that you're a fan of, like being with Key from Shiny, insanity to me. Being with Hwasa, insane. Being with Idol, insane. NCT 127, I've talked to before. They're great. It was just a really fun experience. And I got, some questions on TikTok because we had a lot of like really successful videos from it. About like, oh, how did you get into this? And like, I'm trying to transition into entertainment journalism, and it's interesting because then it's kind of like me telling the story of like, guys, I'm already 32. This is the first time that I have been able to do a carpet like this. And I'm, at 32, which is like, even Liz Hernandez has that kind of story. She didn't get Access Hollywood until 36.
That's amazing.
I know. And it always kind of just reflects on the fact that all this is a journey. I think it's like my main takeaway from that was like, first of all, I'm nowhere near done with any part of this
close.
or being a talent or anything. I knew that I could do something like that. I proved myself correct, and I've done carpets before. I've done jingle balls and whatever, like radio stuff. And I've done stuff for Hip Hop DX and Revolt and like whatever. But, and I've done junkets. Like one of the first celebrities that I've ever interviewed was Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I'm
love
saying?
That.
So it's like at the end of the day, like I love that I can add it to my resume now. Like I feel like I can be like Billboard host, and like kind of have that in my little backpack of things. But yeah.
I mean, you say like, that was a different type of carpet for you. I want to know your insight from other carpets that you've done because to me, K carpets in general, I don't know if I made up that term.
K carpets.
But K carpets in general are so extremely specific.
Yes.
Of a way they run things.
Yeah.
Versus a K-pop artist being at a Grammy carpet or AMA's carpet. Experiencing them in those environments is totally different than when you show up to an event that's all K artists, like a KCON or a Mama's or something.
Yeah, they definitely try to control what you can and cannot say or ask ahead of time, which is funny because I'm standing next to Liam McEwen, who is another friend of mine, and he does AP. And he even said, he was like, they asked for questions. We did not send them. Like, we were like, if you want us to be on this carpet, we're not going to send over questions ahead of time. I, however, wrote out questions. I know. I wrote out questions for every artist that was going to be on the carpet just to send them over. And they live within like the same 24 hours, if not like 2 hours of me doing it, we're still editing. And we're saying you can ask this, you can't ask this, you can XYZ, blah, blah, blah. What's great about it, though, is at the end of the day, I still was asking whatever I wanted to and just was like felt right in the moment.
Well, yeah, you feel natural.
Yeah, I felt but it was also kind of like there were general questions I wanted to ask. We're in LA, we're at KCON, and it's kind of like that's something great that I think a lot of people should know about carpets. Is like you kind of have maybe 2 or 3 questions that are blanket questions that you can ask anybody just to have them in case you get weird about something, you get nervous. Oh my God, what do I ask this person? I don't know who they are, something like that. You have it. Yeah. So I was able to ask, like, what do you love most about being in LA? Because it's, LA KCON. So like that was something that I was really, really happy about. Everything else, I'm just glad that I was personally invested enough in K-pop that I cared about the answers I was getting back. So like, I hope I was asking decent questions and I hope that it was like a good experience for the artists as well as me, and like you guys, Billboard, I hope you guys liked it. But
yeah, no, the content was great. And I think, back to like giving the questions in advance and then watching, your interactions. I think what is good with specifically that crowd, that audience, is that it does give the team a chance to prep the artist.
Right, of course.
And like you said, you could end up going off the beaten path if you decide to do that. But like, at least that there's questions that these artists that may not speak 100% in English.
Right.
We know that a lot of them don't speak English at all.
Yeah.
But at least they can say, oh, I think Brooke is going to ask me this, so I can prepare to either try to talk in English or have a really good response to her question versus if you ask somebody a question in the moment and then you do go through this process of then the translator has to take your question, translate it to them.
Yep.
We don't know exactly what might get lost in that translation.
Right.
Then they speak and then they translate it to the translator who translates back to you. So in that process, so much can get lost sometimes. I'm sure you experienced that of like, did they hear my question?
Yeah.
So those types of things happen. And I think having them in advance kind of will alleviate a little bit of that. So you're getting quality answers from the guests.
You're being filmed. You have 2 minutes. That's like what the thing was with like the KCON carpet specifically was like, we were in the middle on day one, which I kind of liked because AP was doing like, they were going long and then we got them. And so I was able to prep a little bit beforehand and like, again, ask what I wanted to ask, whatever. The next day, AP apparently had been told they were going too long, so they put us in front of it. But what's funny is like they come out, I stick to my 2 minutes. I get 3-4 questions in at most. They go to AP, and then we're being held up because AP is taking as long as they were going to take anyway, and we can't send the person over.
The next people, and then there's the awkward point where the band's like standing there like,
exactly,
what? Oh
and then I'm sitting there
this
like,
is only K carpets, guys. It's crazy.
I'm like with the microphone, like, so how are you guys? How's
It's so
LA?
intense.
But it was fun in a sense where it's like, again, it's stuff that I care about. I don't think a lot of people, would show up and actually give a shit about a lot of these artists and especially the newer groups. If I was there, but they have a really big song out right now that is going crazy on TikTok. And then we had like Nows, who again is a newer boy group. I mean, JO1's a Japanese group. And like,
I wanted you to do this because you're good at it and you were perfect for it.
Thank you.
Like, because you care about the music, you care about the artist, and a lot of people don't. So when you have a person on a carpet like that cares, that's like, most of the job is having somebody that cares because you can naturally vibe with the artist and do that. And like you said, it's crazy, but it's crazy and quick. I will say that.
Yes, it was less than like an hour.
You're like stressed out and all this madness is happening, and then you're like, all right, well.
No, literally, I was like, it's been 32 minutes. Are we done? Like, are we done? And like, the answer is yes.
Because most carpets can be like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. And I will even say it's like, and I'm so sorry I'm putting this on the record. There was one interview, and I love Jackson so much. I love Jackson Wang so much. So much.
Fans here.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I've talked to him even recently within the past like month or whatever. He came into the show, and Brew and I talked to him. He's so great. That was such an interesting little chat with Jackson Wang, and it went up right away. And
so funny.
He's behind me, like pointing out things on the step and repeat and talking about the sponsors. And I was
so
like, yes. I'm like trying to be like, I support this and I support you. But it's stuff like that where you just never know where people are going to go.
You never know.
Yeah. And you just got to be like, okay.
One other thing I want to ask you about KCON, because this is my favorite thing to do as a host. Most people would be shocked.
Yeah.
But the man on the street stuff, like going out and talking to fans, like
that was fun.
That is fun to me. Everybody be like talking to fans versus celebrities, but it's like that's when I get to be myself. I can be like more silly, and as you called me out with Taylor Swift, I'm a big fan myself. So going to talk to fans is like my favorite part of going to an event like KCON or a music festival. So how was that for you?
It was great. It was like 2 of my favorite guys that we did had like Espa jerseys on. I don't even know where they had those made. Like I was like, where did you get them? They were like New York and then winter on the back. And we pulled them and they were like so great. They had like great answers or whatever. One guy found me on Instagram and then followed me on Instagram.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it seemed really cool. But it's like stuff like that you would never. I like connecting with people at these KCON events or just like Korean events in general, even concerts that you would just never expect these people to be at one of these events, but it's becoming more and more common that you see like the quote unquote normies. You know, again, it's like we don't necessarily like to. Yes, exactly.
Brought in the normies.
Everybody that we asked had already watched it. You know, there wasn't anybody that we asked that were like, I don't know what that is, or I didn't watch it. Everybody there had seen K-pop Demon Hunters. Everybody there was super excited to be there, whether it was for aespa or for NCT or for like anybody else. You know, it was just, it's fun to just know that the real people that you see online are, you know, in real life just as excited as you are and really want to actually like stand and talk about their favorite artists. And it's just a good vibe. I don't know. It's just fun.
Okay, well, I got to ask you a question.
What?
And I want you to be real with me about this.
Oh God, what?
So we just talked about K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Billboard over here. Number 1 on the Hot 100 this week.
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yep.
Golden.
Yep.
Do you think that is a good thing, bad thing, that this is now the first female K-pop song, I'm being specific about our wording, to be number 1 on the Billboard charts? It's not Blackpink.
Yeah.
It's not Twice.
I think
also the first number 1 since Destiny's Child, Bootylicious.
Yeah,
technically
right.
for an all-female situation.
So I made a whole TikTok about my experience running into a really cynical dude that I used to work with at radio that was 4 seats down from me at ATs.
Okay.
And I was mind blown because I was like, why would you ever in your life be here? Like you used to like hate everything, especially pop music, right? And it's interesting because you're seeing in real time that the bubble never burst with K-pop. There was never like a ledge that K-pop was going to fall over. And I think, honestly, like, I know, you're trying, like, you're angling it as in, like, girl groups and, like, them not being a typical K-pop girl group and hitting that number one,
These three women have not worked together. They are voice
right.
people hired for a movie.
But even Georgina Rodriguez used that song in her story the other day. Golden, from Huntrix, from K-pop Demon Hunters is what the show is called. Georgina Rodriguez used it. I know she's got kids. Those kids have seen it. So I think at the end of the day, what it's showing us is, again, that assimilation and there's Korean lyrics in Golden as well. Yeah. Assimilation of the K-pop space, fully integrating into what pop music is. And I think it's wonderful because I think it's always been the argument that it was never going to mesh. It was never going to work. It's in Korean. No one's going to care. No one's going to listen to it. All their fans are screaming girls. Who gives a shit? Like, whatever. And there was going to be this giant ledge. It was going to fall off. I think that now more than ever, this is just proof that, one, it's still going to open doors for everybody else. Like it's not that like they did it so Blackpink can't, or they did it so, whoever else can't reach number one. But I just think it's a sign of the times. And I think it's literally the proof that we have always been saying that it's not going to burst. It's not going to go away. If anything, it was either going to assimilate or it was just going to fade back into being a Korean only thing. So like, to me, I think it's wonderful. I don't think it necessarily says anything negative about Korean girl groups and their inability to have done it before.
Oh no,
them.
it wasn't, and that wasn't even where I was angling it. Not like
no. But I'm just
about
saying,
them.
like,
more of just like
because I think that's what fans are seeing.
I have seen that at that discourse, but to me, it's just interesting in the place we are as a world when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
Animated group being number one.
Well,
it feels different to
voices.
me than we don't talk about Bruno, which also went number one.
Right.
But to me, that feels somewhat different because the internet isn't saying like Bruno beat out Justin Bieber. That would be a weird statement to say.
Yeah.
Bruno from Encanto beat out Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That's not a sentence. It was a song from a movie, and the way K-pop fans or the internet are treating the song, they're not saying, notice I said K-pop Demon Hunters, Golden hit number one.
Yeah.
But people are saying Huntrix hit number one.
Right.
Huntrix is a fictional group.
Yes. Okay. And I understand. Okay. So
that's what's so interesting about it.
No. And there's definitely, I think there's like multiple conversations to be had about this because like the further we get into like worries about AI and the further we get into like animation, because again, it was like I was working at Disney when Bruno went number one. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was there when we put out the Encanto soundtrack. And so like we're also seeing this happen in real time. I think the difference is the significance of it is, of course, a Disney song, of that caliber is going to reach a lot of people, and that's global. This is the first time that something with Korean lyrics and a first time where we can actually pinpoint the voices of the song, as artists themselves. Like we definitely have people that are behind the scenes working as, voices for the Disney things or whatever. And we've had, Leah Salonga and everything like that who have always gotten their praise or like whatever from Disney. But something like this, I think the general significance of it is more so the K part of it than anything else. And then on top of that, it's like the K part of it all, and then also it being a kid's movie or show or whatever, but everybody still watched it anyway. It's not just geared towards kids. Like everybody and their moms have seen it. Yeah. So I think there's a different level of edge to it maybe that makes it more adult. That I think also like maybe the Bruno thing, I think to me, it's just not in the same level. Am I making sense?
No, you make sense. Yeah. And this is why I like having conversations with you because it just gives different perspective. And I do see where you're coming from with that, with the relevance of the K of it all. I just, like I said, it's to me, the animation, like I said, just with the language around it. It's like people are almost like, what's the next Huntrix hit? And it's like, this isn't a...
Right. We have to be real about that. That's not going to, unless they make like another show or whatever. I think we need to look at it in like an insular way, which is like, it's great that it's a K song from a show about K-pop that has the word K-pop in the literal title of the movie, you know, on Netflix. And it's all Korean artists that did it. And so that's the significance of it. Less so, we've had, you know, like cartoon, you know, songs or animated, you know, movie songs go number one or hit top 10 or whatever before. There's nothing kind of new about that, but I think the significance lies in the K of it all.
There you go. The 9th number one K-pop song ever to hit number one.
Yeah. I like it though.
Behind only 3 other artists.
BTS, Jimin, Jungkook.
There you go, girl. And now, K-pop Demon Hunters.
K-pop Demon, but I'm so happy to happen. I mean, but again, it's like I don't want to say this in any kind of like derogatory way, but like I'm so shocked Georgina Rodriguez put that up there and knows what that is.
No,
like,
I was excited. My boss came in the other day at work and she was singing one of the songs, and I was like, "Are you singing Takedown?"
Yeah, no. And that's what I'm saying is like, so people in the comment section of my TikTok videos, some of them, not like, honestly, maybe 2 or 3 people were saying like, no, there was a bubble and the bubble burst whenever it became westernized and like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. The bubble bursting for K-pop referred to the Western market's interest in K-pop, whether or not they were ever going to continue to give a shit about K-pop and if it was actually ever going to be taken seriously. That was the bubble bursting, which is like, oh, BTS in 2019, was that the height of K-pop in the West or anywhere else globally? Was that the height of it? If anything, it's gotten so much bigger to where your boss is walking in singing this song, you know, like, and humming it a lot. It's just people know it. Yeah. And that is the true, the kind of sign that the assimilation, the actual, you know, pop music on a global scale, K-pop is now considered pop music and not just K-pop.
Not just K-pop.
That was what that always was. So anyway.
We love. And then that's actually a beautiful transition.
Yeah.
Because speaking of being just pop and not K-pop,
yeah,
reminds me of one of my favorite artists. Have you heard of a group called KATSEYE?
Oh my God, who's that? That's crazy.
You know, they're these bomb-ass girls, singers, dancers, performers.
Your face.
And they were at a little festival. I call it a little festival. Big ass
festival.
Festival. Your boy's too old for 4 days at a festival, I'll tell you that. But KATSEYE, oh my God, playing Sunday at Lollapalooza. Did you see it online? Did you see the girls make their big festival debut?
Well, you know what's funny is like, because I was literally working like KCON
by the way,
same time.
She was doing KCON. I was at Lollapalooza.
So no, but like I saw it later. Like I was seeing things like as it was happening. Because I remember like I was getting ready when KATSEYE was like going on at Lolla, the time difference or whatever. But I still had to be like at KCON by a certain time. And I was still like, oh my God, you know, like outfits and pictures and like whatever. So I was still doing my whole thing. I saw a lot of it after the fact. I saw a lot of like what was on Twitter and what was on TikTok and everything. So that's how I just had to catch up afterwards.
And I think it was very interesting to me to like watch obviously so many fans that came out that were at Lollapalooza for KATSEYE.
Yeah.
But also like the general public that probably were like, let me check this out. Maybe they saw the Netflix show, or maybe they were just walking and stopped.
Yeah.
You know, but like it was such a good show. It was hot. AF.
Oh, was it?
Oh my God.
See,
it was the
I
hottest
did not know
moment
that.
of the weekend.
Really?
I had been like fine. I had been like vibing. Like it had been warm. But I had been like at the festival 3 days because this is the 4th day.
Yeah.
I was standing in that crowd during KATSEYE like dripping sweat. Like
Ew.
physically wet from how hot it was. And then you know me. I love KATSEYE.
Yeah.
So I'm performing with them.
Oh yeah, you're like dancing.
So
and
I
shit.
was already hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like performing for my life.
You're like legitimately just like wet
like
as
jumping,
fuck dancing. Yeah.
I could have passed out probably.
Okay.
But you know, I'm still here.
We did it.
I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm stepping. But no, but it was a really good time. I was really, really proud of them. I do want to tell you one thing that was interesting.
Oh God, what?
So for my non-KATSEYE fans, my non-K-pop people, that's who I cared the most about. After the show, I kept asking people, how'd you feel about KATSEYE?
Okay.
I was calling people. I was texting people, what'd you feel about KATSEYE?
Yeah.
And you want to tell you the number one complaint?
What?
They talked a lot. I was like, wow, to not be in the world of K-pop they don't understand.
Yeah, that's called a ment, by the way. That's called a ment.
And they happen throughout shows if you go to K-pop.
You know what? It's funny because like Tetris and I have literally talked about this before. Like it does throw you off sometimes. Like it does. As Western fans, I mean, I do think a lot of fans appreciate it because I want to hear them talk.
Yes.
But I do think like maybe at a Lala, maybe don't. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting to me because that is what makes KATSEYE interesting is that they go, we're not a K-pop group, but we were trained in the K-pop methodology. So it's like, you don't have to do mints. Technically, if you're not a K-pop group, but I know they pay respect to like, that's what happens in K-pop.
Yeah,
so it was just interesting to me that it didn't cross my mind, but to a massive Lollapalooza crowd,
right?
Like they keep stopping and having every single member is talking. And it's like, yeah, you know why? Because if somebody doesn't talk, K-pop fans get mad and they're like, oh, these two talked and I didn't hear this one talk. So everybody has to talk.
Interesting though, because I will say it's like, I think I've seen, what was I watching today? A Stray Kids Lala performance. And I don't, did they do that? I don't.
I didn't watch.
Maybe I didn't get like far enough into it. But they definitely like started it off, and then I think they did like full songs, and we're just transitioning, and then Bang Chan introduced the band or whatever. I don't. Maybe they did at some point, and I just haven't watched that far into it. I don't know if Boy Next Door did that either.
I didn't see Boy Next Door's full set at Lala because I was waiting on KATSEYE. But the funny,
and then J-Hope didn't do that, did he? At Berlin just recently? I don't even think he stood and talked for a while. I think he did a few things.
He did
that's
a lot
interesting
at
that KATSEYE did.
But also, I was telling people they also only have 2 EPs, so maybe they couldn't fill up their whole set, guys. They needed to. They had some. They're early in their career, so they got to stop and talk for a minute.
And that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
but no, I just wanted your opinion. It was, and it's so funny how it's specific to K-pop community because my friend, my coworker Frankie, we went to Shakira the other night.
Yeah,
and it's the funniest moment. She leans over into me and she goes, "She's got a lot of VCRs." And like that's also
like, very K-pop. Yeah.
That they like not only stop the show to talk,
ATEEZ
but they
did
will
a lot
play
of this.
so many full edited videos. And Beyonce does it too, but Beyonce's VCRs are like happening quickly or while she's performing.
Right.
She's got lots of visuals happening while she's singing, whereas at K-pop, they stop the show down. And they're like, watch this video.
Yes, right. Yeah, yes. Everything does, it's like start, stop. But I think in that culture, it's really, like you said, out of respect, it's always been a kind of like way to connect with fans. Yeah, maybe Lollapalooza and maybe like with a fully English-speaking group, you know, like Yoonchae, shout out to her. She's done really well in learning English. She's fluent now. Yeah, which is great. But maybe a lot of their talking should have really been in between songs. You know, if we're
in
really
the way
trying,
that we organize, Western music tends to do talking.
I think that like if they are trying to gear it more towards the Western audience, maybe that's something they should reconsider. And not that they're going to sit here and like listen to us or anything like that, but maybe that is the feedback. Maybe it's like, you know, we see this, we love them, we want to support them, you know, like great outfits, whatever, love the hair flips, we're doing all the things.
They were so hot.
Yeah, so good. But then at the end of the day, it's like, it's not K-pop though, or we don't want them to be seen as K-pop. You know, like, do we make the change? Yeah.
Adjustments there.
Yeah, interesting though.
Yeah, I mean, no, I was like, if there's anybody I want to get their opinion on this, it's you, because like we are so on that line of being like fans of Western music, but also very involved in the K-pop community. So
interesting
to be at a festival and notice that be a disconnect was like very interesting to me.
I love that a lot. Did Twice? You watched a little bit of that, right?
I did watch Twice.
Did they do a lot of like talking? You know what? I watched it too. I don't think they did.
No, Twice. I don't remember them talking at all while I was there. But I didn't watch the whole set because who was I running to see? Oh, Rufus Du Sol and Two Friends, which the saddest moment of my entire Lollapalooza.
What?
Was when I was standing at Rufus Du Sol.
Oh, and you missed alcohol free.
No, I ran to alcohol free.
Okay,
I was leaving Twice.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't done alcohol free. And then I heard them playing it and I ran back and watched alcohol free. Then I went to Rufus.
Okay. What was sad about
Rufus? And then
Rufus?
my phone went off.
Okay.
And they did that K-pop Demon Hunters medley and Seal the Heart Moon.
Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. I watched it. They put it out on YouTube.
Person?
I know.
But to see that in person would have been so cool.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube.
And I'm like, I was across the field down the way.
Yeah.
While Golden
that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have
performing?
missed Twice. I wouldn't have missed all of Twice.
I know
would
how
have
much
stood
you
there.
love Twice. So
I
you
would
wouldn't have left.
I would have been there 20 minutes early, and then I would have stayed afterwards too. I would have watched all. And you know what? They did more and more second. I knew it.
They did. I did get to see more and more. I was
like,
excited about that for you.
If they took my advice, or if they were already going to do it, and I was just in tune with that, I'm so happy they did more and more. Like, that's such a festival song for them. So hey.
And then just a note I would like to leave on too is just that makes me very happy. Coachella this year and Lollapalooza this year, leaning into highlighting and making sure K artists get their respect.
Definitely. I like that there's always like 2 to 4 per festival now.
Yeah, and even in the headlining slots, like Twice was, or like, you know, Blackpink has been, you know, and seeing like in Hype and Boy Next Door, like it's just really, really fun to see the K community be able to go to a festival and live their best life.
And the last thing I will say is that my dad's wife's daughter, they got married later in life, so that's not necessarily my stepsister or anything like that, but she's great, but she's very Gen Z, and she's very, I think, like alternative indie type of vibe, you know, hipster kind of vibe. She texted Maria, my dad's wife, and was like, I just saw Twice for the first time. I think I understand K-pop now.
Oh.
She was at Lolla because she lives in Chicago.
Yay.
And she was like, they're so in sync and they're so beautiful. And I was like, that's all it takes.
They
really,
are in
is
sync
like
and they are beautiful.
You just give it a chance, honestly, and like take all the weird, like kind of Western masculinity shit that we do out of it and just watch it for a second. And like, honestly, it's fun. Even if at the very least it's a guilty pleasure for you, just give it a chance. See what happens. It's a good time. And that's all I have to say.
This was fun.
This
might have been one of my favorite episodes ever.
It was
this
good.
Is great.
All right, where can
I got
find
to
you?
rant about Taylor Swift and talk about KATSEYE.
Yeah.
Is there anything better than this?
No. But now we got to like not talk about KATSEYE for the next like 5 episodes because we've been a lot of KATSEYE in lately. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Love you.
You see the TikTok I did with them?
Yes, I did.
Like my favorite comment was somebody that was like, this is a skit, but it's actually Tetris in real life.
No. Yeah, everything he has pinned on his profile is literally a KATSEYE collab post. So go check that out if you want to see what Tetris is all about. You know.
Oh man. Well, anyways, it's Tetris Bish on all social media.
On Instagram, I am Brooke Morrison. On TikTok, on TikTok, Brooke Morrison with 4 N's at the end, and then on Twitter on Airbrooke. I can't keep track of this shit. I gotta change something.
You gotta get on this.
And then find the show for clips and videos and all that at The Industry, I guess, on Instagram and on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.